Good morning. It's Friday, the 7th of May, 2021.
And welcome to Radio Greenside's very first episode of
Radio Newsletter.
We're your hosts, Miss Mora.
And Mr. Tilden.
And today's guest, me, Mary Hay.
And we will be bringing you this Radio Newsletter,
the podcast form of the Greenside newsletter. Be sure to check out our accompanying Instagram post for a visual on all the great things featured in this newsletter.
First up, our Stars of the Week. In nursery, Zach and Ty for their excellent progress in phonics.
And in reception, Arlo for settling in so well at Greenside and coming in and being ready to learn every day. Mia for her brilliant reading progress.
Year 1, Isla for her beautiful sentence writing. And Azaya for his amazing maths progress.
Year 2, Amaya and Mark, each for settling into Year 2 so wonderfully.
Year 3, Louis for his wonderful group work in science. Araya for her writing and editing a fantastic narrative.
And in Year 4, Lois for her brilliant writing on and editing of Alice's first steps into Wonderland, and to Taylor for his wonderfully illustrated picture of Alice exploring Wonderland as seen on our class wall.
Year 5, Cozy for fantastic improvement in her work, especially in her maths and her story writing. Suraj for his amazing story writing and attitude to come back to work with a positive attitude after Easter.
And Year 6, Malik for a consistent attitude to learning and for the amount of effort he has put into each piece of learning. And our last star of the week is Maisie in Year 6 for a positive attitude to learning and for creating a wonderful narrative inspired by Alice in Wonderland. And now for some Star Day highlights.
Hey now, you're our all-star.
Here are some of the amazing experiential learning we've been up to.
First up, nursery. One of the highlights so far that nursery has had is our outdoor gardening initiative. Thanks to the lovely donations from the nursery families, we were able to plant some seeds and bulbs. We have been enjoying watering them and watching them grow. We hope that the plants and flowers will attract more bees in the learning garden, as they are so important to the pollination process. Reception's highlight so far has been their scientific investigations around the pond area of the school. They've been taking out special tools, including a microscope, and investigating the mini beasts that live around the pond. We've been so amazed by the many different varieties of animals and plants we've found, including several newts and 2 large toads.
Year 1 has been solving crimes of the most serious nature. They've investigated crime scenes and interrogated the White Rabbit himself. These experiences have been used to help inspire them to write their own tension-building narratives. They are experimenting with showing and not telling to help make their writing really interesting, while using ellipses to have their readers on the edge of their seats.
Year 2 have had some great immersive experiences to kick off the term. They have created their very own Wonderland inside and outside of the classroom by planting different seeds which they will monitor over the term and make some scientific conclusions from their findings. The Year 2 class also took part in a challenging blindfolded obstacle course where they had to use their senses, apart from their sight, to navigate their way through the course. This led to some wonderful writing descriptions in which the students imagined traveling through Wonderland with all of its tipsy-turvy obstacles along the way. Year 3 went on a mass treasure hunt to find Tweedledee and Tweedledum. The students answered questions and looked for the clues hidden in the garden. These clues led them to a key, which allowed them to see a map of Wonderland. The map revealed the spot that Jub Jub Bird had carried them.
And in Year 4, that's my class, for our STEAM project, STEAM, that A standing for Arts, we have gone on some very Wonderlandish adventures. We discovered different sounds hidden around the school garden, all the sounds of the magical characters from Wonderland, and we collected mysterious quotes from the characters of Wonderland, these being scattered all around the schoolyard. Then we used those quotes to fuel our brilliant third-person Wonderland adventure stories, and I am so proud of all the hard work that the Year 4s put into these. Year 5 got the virtual reality goggles on to explore their STEAM project of gravity. They were encouraged to ask curious and curiouser questions of why Alice didn't fall straight away when she fell down the rabbit hole. Then they embarked on an adventure throughout the school to find Alice herself. In a bid to find her, they had to go on an outdoor adventure, visit a cave of potion, take on a time challenge, and then play some of the Queen of Hearts' deceptive card games. This inspired some fantastic writing pieces.
In Year 6, we immersed ourselves into the world of Wonderland as we became part of our Alice in Wonderland narratives, changing the characters' names to our own. We focused on developing these characters in a nonsensical way throughout the story. Before we began our writing, we were given a bright green potion. We didn't know what was in it, but we needed to drink it in order to continue our adventure. Did we do it? It's Year 6. Of course we did.
For SMSC, that's social, moral, spiritual, and cultural, we celebrated Shakespeare's birthday, which was just last week. He is a very, very, very old man. And to do so, to celebrate him, we looked at the brilliant Romeo and Juliet prologue with many quotables and many ways to interpret it, as each class took a moment to rewrite it with their own perspective, some keeping it in their own Shakespearean language, and some in modern-day Shepherd's Bush, London, English. Well done, Greenside. Shakespeare would be super proud. So, for the first time, in at least my time at Greenside, each class from years 1 to 6 has been studying the same film, and that is, of course, Tim Burton's wonderful interpretation of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. And on the very first Thursday back of this summer 1 half term, each class set up their very own Mad Hatter Tea Party.
Hey, watch out! It's you.
Long tea tables that had many decorations on them, including food, sweets, costumes, pictures of clocks from the White Rabbit, teacups, mad hats, and of course, clues that led the students to think about their upcoming STEAM projects. So there were clues in Year 3, including hidden magnets, sound waves. In Year 4, and in Key Stage 1, there were seeds to indicate that the upcoming learning might have to do with some interesting science topics. Of course, a newsletter, podcast form or otherwise, wouldn't be complete without a very necessary mention of Thursday's Crew Days. For the summer term, each crew group is looking at the physical geography and the impact of human geography on 3 continents.
Year 1 and 2 are looking at the very populous Asia. Year 3 and 4 are looking at the very diverse Africa. And Year 5 and 6 are looking at the continent just south of our continent, South America.
We'll be thinking about cities, rivers, population, culture, immersing ourselves in these continents, but also thinking critically about how humans impact their environments and how we can construct a more sustainable future.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our very first episode, not only of Radio Newsletter, but Radio Greenside.
Make sure you subscribe to our podcast channel and take a look at our latest Instagram post for Radio Newsletter pics.
I'm Miss Mora.
And I'm Mr. Tilden. We'll see you next time on
Radio Newsletter.